Hi and welcome to the Policy Beast Municipal Election Special. We will be interviewing Pete Kopecky, who is running for selectman here. Just a reminder to our viewers, the municipal election is on May 17th, so please make sure to get out and vote. And without further ado, Mr. Kopecky, thank you so much for joining us here on Policy Beast.
Thank you for having me.
So, before we get into some of the issues, I've got to ask you, who is Pete Kopecky?
Oh, I just moved to town approximately 2.5 years ago from New Jersey.
Okay.
Married. I have a 16-month-old daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
So that's my main job.
Uh-huh.
I take care of her. And I'm on the board of zoning appeals. So I take a lot of time and take care of that stuff. Retired fireman, volunteer fireman of 17 years, ex-corrections officer. So that's me in a nutshell, pretty much.
Fantastic. So Pete, what's motivating you to run for selectman? Why are you doing this right now? It sounds like you've done a lot of public service in different capacities in Ashland and otherwise, but why this office, why now?
It's funny, TV show Chicago Fire. One of the actors is a fireman, a lieutenant, and he runs for alderman in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
My wife turned to me and said, "You used to be a fireman, you were a lieutenant, why don't you give this a shot?" I said, "You know what, I will. I'll give this a shot, I'll give it a push, and I'll see what happens."
All right.
And that's where I went.
So what are some of the issues in town that you're concerned about? There's a lot going on in town, and you know, you're a relatively new father, you've got your family here. There must be some issues that you care very passionately about.
There is. I know the one question on the override is the money and what it goes to, and one of the main issues is public safety.
Let's talk about that.
In the town of Ashland, the fire department responds both to fire and medical. During the day, their staffing is 4 guys between 2 stations. And per national fire protection standards, it's supposed to be 4 on an engine and 2 in an ambulance. They're running low manpower. Okay. It's 2 guys in the ambulance, 2 guys in an engine. And that's going to cause a lot of problems. They pull up to a fire. My house actually caught fire November, day before Thanksgiving. And we had the fire department respond, and it was 3 guys on the truck and the chief. And that's short staffed. They had to wait for the rest of the guys to come in. If the override passes, the fire department gets to hire more manpower and protect our town. That way, the ambulance crew can answer 2 calls at the same time instead of answering 1 call and calling in another town.
I was about to say, because don't we have reciprocity?
We do. We have mutual aid agreements with Framingham, Ashland, or Framingham, Southborough, Sherburne, and Holliston. But that takes a while. You know, you're getting ambulances from other towns. So you primarily are concerned about public safety issues with this override, and is that why are you supporting the override for that reason? I'm supporting the override both for the public safety and school.
Okay.
My daughter, I want her in a good school district. That's why I moved to Ashland.
Okay. That was one of the reasons why you found Ashland so attractive? Or?
Yeah. Okay. The school district was amazing, one of the top rated, and I want my daughter to have the best education. So that's why we picked Ashland.
So getting back to some other issues around town that you're concerned about, you know, as a selectman, there's a range of issues that folks are concerned about in town. What have you been hearing out on the campaign trail about some of the concerns that people are talking to you about, and what are some of your views on those?
A lot of people that I've talked to are taxes. They don't want the taxes to go up. They can't afford it. They don't know what to do. If the taxes do go up, are they going to be able to afford the homes? Are they going to have to move? And I explained to them, if the taxes go up, there's government help. There's grants. There's tons of stuff you can go into as a homeowner and get assistance with if the taxes go up and you can't afford it. I'm hoping that the taxes won't go up too high. But if they do, it's to support the town. It's to support the road department, the fire department, and the schools.
What other issues have folks been approaching you with on your run for selectman?
So far, it's been, they want to make Ashland beautiful. They want to make it their home.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people coming in, and destroying it. They want to make the downtown district beautiful. And I support that. I want my family to come up from Jersey and see how beautiful Ashland is. Traffic issues, a lot of people are concerned with speeding. Other people are concerned with the school, what's going to happen. Like Jim Adams said the other night, they're cutting a lot. That's an issue.
It's an issue. So we talked about what some of your potential constituents are concerned about. Outside of the override issues, what are, you said that you've been doing some work with zoning and such.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the issues that you've seen in your work there, and how you think perhaps being a selectman would be helpful in sort of looking at some of those issues differently, or being able to help the town through some of those issues.
Being on the zoning board, I see stuff before it's built, or issues that are happening now with buildings being too loud, or they're operating too close to the homes that are in certain districts. If I go in...
Oh, you mean construction being too loud, not buildings?
Correct,
Because you're like,
correct.
buildings being too loud. How are buildings being
Construction, I mean, the trucks backing up at midnight, garbage pickup at like 2 a.m.
Okay.
Bright lights off of a building shining into elderly people's homes. As zoning, we have to put in an enforcement. Say, no, you can't do construction at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't build this building right up against another house. As selectman, if I go in, I get to assist and make better judgment on what's getting built, what we should have, what we don't need in town.
Okay. So what are some of the other issues that you see around town? You talked about the beautification of downtown Ashland. I think that's something that is on a lot of people's minds. A lot of people are tying that to economic development issues in town too. What are some of your thoughts on some of those issues, including possibly bringing more business to Ashland and such?
I think it would be great to bring the revenue into town. It would definitely boost the morale. It'll bring more people in to move into Ashland. I just don't want to see it get overpopulated with businesses. That's pretty much how I feel on that.
So you're looking for like some sort of like smart expansion?
Yeah, nothing like a giant BJ's in downtown district. We don't need anything like that, but a good restaurant, couple stores, kind of like downtown Hopkinton.
I am familiar with downtown Hopkinton. It's very lovely.
Beautiful.
I think we could do better than that, though.
Oh, we could top that off. We
Oh,
can
yeah.
make it 10 times better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So some of the other issues that folks are concerned about in town have to do with open space. I'm sure you've heard a lot of things around that. What are some of your ideas around managing space and open space in the community?
I understand open space conservation. We have to limit where we put buildings on the open space because we're pushing out the wildlife and everything. But if there is a space available for a new public safety building and it falls on an open space, can we make it happen? Maybe. I'd rather not build on it. If we can move it somewhere where it's not going to affect the wildlife. That's the main concern. I want to restrict building on open space. Give it some woods, some forest for people to walk through. Some nice creeks, you can take your daughter down to. I don't want to see that all go away.
Right.
I don't want to see it built up. It's beautiful the way it is.
So how would you envision Ashland a few years from now as a selectman, and as your child is progressing older? What kind of Ashland would you like your child to see?
What she sees now, I mean, the small, loving town this is. Everybody knows each other. They're all great to each other, all say hi. That's what I want her to see, and that's what I'm hoping for down the road. A couple more businesses and making downtown a lot prettier, nicer. That's what I would like to see.
Pete, we're running a little close on time, so I'm going to ask you the last question of the evening. We've heard a lot of your views on different issues, but if you had to give a reason for folks to go out on May 17th and vote for Pete Kopecky, what would that be? Why should we vote for you, Pete?
I'm a fresh set of eyes, fresh set of ears. I'm open to anybody's concerns, issues. I'm always accessible 24/7. And that's why Ashland needs to vote for me, because I'm fresh. I'm new. I'm willing to learn and listen and help.
Pete Kopecky, it's been a pleasure having a conversation with you. Pete Kopecky is running for selectman in Ashland. The election is on May 17th. Please make sure to get out and vote for the candidate of your choice. Thank you so much again for joining us, Pete, and thank you for joining us here on Policy Beast. We'd love to hear from you here at Policy Beast, and there are a lot of ways to get in touch with us. You can follow us on Twitter at PolicyBeastTV. We have a Facebook fan page. Look us up on Facebook. You can also email us at policybeasttv@gmail.com. So many ways to get in touch, and we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear about any kind of show ideas or any kind of topics that you'd like us to dive deep into.